My damn uncle got diabetes. Took both his legs, made him blind. This fat ass motherfucker still drinking Mountain Dew. Swear to God.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be that guy. Okay, you got diabetes. Oh, it's going down.
Nah, you
Be my red velvet.
Nah.
Yeah, my uncle ain't got no pinky toes, nothing.
Damn.
They had to cut them off.
Crazy. One uncle, same one, motherfucker had like his couch set off the wall. He had 2 liters of Mountain Dew piled up behind his couch.
No, it ain't funny.
I'm trying not to laugh, but
It ain't funny, but it's funny, though.
Man.
diabetes plus high blood pressure, like it's astoundingly high for African Americans.
Yeah. All that shit's connected.
Shout out to Black History Month.
Shit. It's a great thing.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought here to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought here to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up.
Well, man, let's make the pivot, man. Welcome to the pivot. We're excited to have you, Cam. Channing, Freddie T, I'm RC, to our partners over at Happy Dad. We appreciate you, sponsors at DraftKings, everybody that supports the show. We got Cam Jordan here, 24th overall pick from Cal, New Orleans Saints, all-time sack leader. Congratulations on that. One of 3 people to play the game with 7.5 sacks for, 11 years? I think
for something like 11,
Reggie,
whatever it is.
It's Reggie White, John Randall.
John Randall, OG.
It's the only 2. And so I just think, man, just to be a part of that group says what you've accomplished in this league. Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee twice. So
Right.
It's not just about what you do on the field, but we kind of like to start to dive into who the human is more so than the player, and we'll get to that. But for you, man, you grew up here. We're in Arizona now, but you grew up in Chandler, Arizona.
Chandler High. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good.
National powerhouse.
National powerhouse.
We walk around, we bully people from Georgia and Texas and the likes. We walk around with our thing swinging.
No, you don't.
Chandler High out there really,
No, you don't.
Who's
What's the other players that went to your
Whatever
school?
your high school is, I fly my team out. We'll come get with it.
What other guys graduated from there? The Chase Lucas went there, right? N'Keal Harry?
Yeah, N'Keal Harry, Brett Hundley. When I came out, defensive end opposite of me was Deion Jordan.
Yeah.
He was a real freak of nature. Like, I'm 6'4", he was 6'7". I ran a 4'6", he ran like a 4'4".
Right.
Like, he was covering receivers. I wasn't covering no receivers.
Did your high school play Bijan Robinson High School?
I don't even know.
Because if
that's the
they
running back
did-
from Texas. What high school did you go to?
The one start with the S, Sagaro.
Saguaro?
Yeah, that one.
I figured he'd be a chaparral kid or something like that. I'm just.
Whoever he played, they wasn't playing.
No, it was getting waxed.
They was getting waxed. For real.
Yeah, like, but whoever, if he's from Arizona, if you don't go through Chandler High, you ain't play nobody.
Wow.
Granted, when I played, we were like, I think the deepest we got was like semis. Nah, Chandler High won like the last 7 out of 10 or 12 years we've been out. And then let's not even talk about track. If you talk about speed, if you only talking about Chandler track.
What? Y'all in the desert, you ain't got nothing else to do.
Desert Monsters.
Yeah, look at
That's why-
coyotes and play ball.
Yeah,
That's
facts, and we act different. Now, if you talk about basketball, I can't help you there. And I got nothing for you. Not an AAU team, not a lick of YMCA, not a nary nada.
Hey, running from Javelinos. What is that? What they call?
Javelinas?
Yeah, running from
Them little wild
Javelinas, Wild Pig.
I've been in Arizona all my life, and you can only get those if you go out to like Prescott or something like that. You got to be out there.
RC, we missing one
Phoenix?
accolade. We share the 2021 Senior Bowl Hall of Fame class.
Oh, congrats,
Yeah.
fellas.
Slide.
My old ass, say it.
hell. Fred, 116.
How I end up in his class. That just goes to show how great of a
I was
player
about
he
to
was.
say, it took
Because
too
I'm
long.
like 13 years ahead of you or something. You're 89, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's sweet. Y'all had to stay till y'all senior year?
I mean, honestly,
God damn, y'all wasn't that good.
hey, if you hey,
You was out of that chair?
I hit as a sophomore. Look, when I'm getting drafted, hell yeah.
so like true sophomore, like red shirt.
Red shirt.
You had a red shirt?
Yeah. Well, a gray shirt. It was dirty.
Okay.
It was dirty.
So you had that year of development.
Actually, I tore my knees up and got in some legal trouble.
Not as good. Never had one of them.
Yeah.
Don't do me that.
But you had 3 in high school, huh?
4 ACL reconstructions in high school.
Brother, what?
Yeah, man.
You was going into college on a crutch. Like, ain't no way.
Yeah, man, that's 4 of them.
That
Because
would've
I was
switched some things up.
going to a sorry high school, you to everything. I'd be in the huddle. I'd be a foot over my entire team on both sides of the ball. They know the big light skin motherfucker getting the rock. Bink, 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 bink. Every play.
You should have hit with that Larry Fitz, hey, man. Like, don't hit me down low. Stay up top. If there's the flag, I'll pay you fine.
Yeah.
I ain't have the respect of Fitzy. Yeah.
You got the hair, though.
Yeah, I got my hair. Fitz is sneaking. Love you, Fitz. Yours is sneaking.
Not partaking of that.
Cam, man, so since you're done telling lies about how great Chandler, Arizona football is compared to Louisiana, compared to Florida and Georgia.
Anyone.
Yeah.
We did lose IMG, so I can't say we're the best of the best. But we lost to them by like 3 points a couple years back.
Yeah, they're cheating. For you, though, growing up with a pops that played in the league, your father, Steve, played for the Minnesota Vikings. I believe he left there as the all-time leading receiver when his time was up. And now
as a tight end. Yeah,
as a tight end, right? And now you're breaking records. What was it like to have a father who experienced that much success in the NFL and to be following him? And he even wrote in the letter he wrote to you that he put you in Pop Warner because you thought you were a hooper.
Knew I was a hooper. It wasn't that good. I could tell them lies. I was like, I'm going to the league. Not basketball, though. Not basketball. When I was 13, Pops just like dropped me off like with the pads. It was like, all right, man, figure it out. I was like, I don't want to be here. And then like I was trying to show off. I was trying to show my ass a little bit. I was like, I'm not practicing hard. I'm not running hard. You can't make me. And then, game rolls around. I ain't played much. Like you go from, always playing, always starting, always being that dude, just being bigger, naturally, like more talented than a lot of cats growing up, to now, 13 years old. And if you don't put that work in, you don't play. And I'm getting like 3 plays a game for like 2 weeks. I said, fam, so I still gotta run. I still gotta do these Oklahoma drills. And this is when coaches can MF you and do it. Like now it's 2023, so everybody's softer. Like you gotta like, hey, mother lover, your mother loves you very much. Yes, she does. Come over here and run this drill. Yes, you will. Come on. Like now everything's so sugared up, so sweet. Like I don't even recognize half these kids growing up. They're growing up entitled. But I mean, back. So I'm 13, and I'm like, bruh, I'm not playing. I gotta do all this work. It's Arizona. This ain't like. This ain't where y'all from. This ain't cool in the summer. Nah, we had 110 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? We ain't getting these new age water breaks every 15 minutes.
Right.
We getting that water makes you weak talk. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So I'm in there like, bro, I'm going through way too much hell not to be playing. So I started turning up a little bit. So then ever since I really started like, if you will, letting the hair down, I started cracking cats. And once we started cracking, it was on. I said, all right. But I was doing on the wrong side. I was offensive lineman. Boys really setting them feet. And I said, bro, this is miserable. You know what I'm saying? I got to high school, and I was like, I want to be a defensive lineman. My coach looked at me and was like, I'm clearly one of the biggest kids on the team. I was a lineman trying to box me. I said, fam, I'm not, and I'm killing it. I got my first offer as a tackle, getting multiple offers from colleges as a tackle. I went to like that first little camp, probably my junior year, and they were like, offensive lineman left, defensive lineman right. And I was like, I'm tired of being hit. I'm going this way. You know what I'm saying? Like the greatest thing about an offensive lineman is when nobody calls his name.
Yeah.
For the amount of work we put in, the blood that we shed, ain't no way you not going, like you gonna mention my name. Cam Jordan locked down the left side. Said no one ever. You know what I'm saying? But Cam Jordan popped the lid off? Yeah, now we talking about it. Right. Cam Jordan had an interception? Oh, we definitely talking about it. Had the sack strip fumble? Guess what we putting in the paper?
Right.
So I said, you know what? Just for my for my decision alone, I'm going defensive side. And I started popping cats.
Yeah, I went to balling.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Need that.
Like RC said, your dad already, I'm sure, respected around town. Everybody knew him and all that stuff. Were you ever chasing him? And when did you surpass him?
Never. Never. I beat. So I remember I was like Pops playing in the league. Like he was a tight end though, and so I remember I was an offensive lineman. We was in high school. My cousin could probably tell you we were in high school. They drew a route up on the board and was like, hey man, we want you to run this stick. Nah, yada yada. I said, cool. Who am I blocking? Because in my mind, tight end's not an option. They're like, nah, man, we want you to go for a pass. I said, you better call Steve. Hey, my pops was the coach, and he, I probably got one of them, you better call my father.
Right.
You better call you better call my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not him. I'm here to block or I'm here to hit somebody. I will not be a tight end. I will not be a receiver. You can't put me in his shoes.
Right.
And then, you know, so it was just there. I just refused to be even like remotely.
But even his success though.
That's nice. Who wants to be a tight end? They broke.
No. But just he went to the league like you was the little kid getting 3 snaps a game. Your dad is a retired NFL player.
Absolutely.
You was never chasing his ghost.
Nah, coach out there looking at me. Look at your, like, you supposed to be like,
yeah, look at your daddy.
And I'm looking at him. No, I'm not. I refused. In every facet, and I think my dad did a phenomenal job of beyond forcing me to play football. He never really forced that shadow on me. He never been like, hey, you got to go get it. But he also led by example. That man is 60, what is he, 62 now? He still works out 5 times a week. Yeah. Pops gets it in. From as long as I can remember, if you was at my house on Saturday, after you did the chores in the morning, we was going straight to the field and you was getting all that work. You was getting 7 sticks, curls, flats. You're running all types of routes. And it's fun for all my friends and cousins that are coming through. They're like, oh man, you get to do this with your dad did this. I'm like, bruh, what you mean? I'm out here every Saturday. I'm dying. You know, but like that's just a part of it. Like we were so ingrained on how to work. And even so, Pops had been my coach my entire life in some sort of facet. Now he's working, he's an engineer, he does whatever he does. He gives back to community, started up the First Tee program out in Phoenix, gives back. But he was my coach, and so in terms of he was always clicked in. So if I was out there running with defensive linemen, he would never let me run with him. You know, all the conditioning. I'm with linebackers, I'm with corners, and I can't be in the back, I gotta be in the front. You know what I'm saying? Whatever drills we doing, my pops may show up for one practice out the week, but that one practice, it better be a consistent update of what I've been the entire week. It better be at the front of every line, not like, oh, your dad showed up, you were at the front.
Right.
Now he's going to the coaches because he's in. Hey, Cam been slacking. Oh, I got your ass, big fella. And so now, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's none of that. So it's consistency. Right. It's that idea that, man, it's not because of him, it's because of what I want to be. Mm-hmm. So he made that pivot for me real quick.
You wasted the first 6 years of your life being Spider-Man, webbing everybody. Do you still think about being Spider-Man, though? Like when you get a sack or some shit?
Man, absolutely. But don't we all want superpowers? Like, we talk about webbing. Look, let me be talking about when I was a kid, I used to web the house up. My mom would be like, he used to come down when he was a little kid and just take a ball of yarn and web the whole house. I'm like, hey, relax. Hey, don't be telling everybody that.
You ain't one of them grown men still watching cartoons and all that, are you?
Anime?
You watch anime?
Let's respect it. Let's not just belittle it now.
I think that's different than cartoons to people that watch anime. To us, it's just a cartoon.
Somebody drawing little figurines that run like this?
Yes.
That's a cartoon, Cam.
I'm here for action, but I'm also here for this. I'm looking for hams. I've never been here for storyline. In terms of movies, I'm here for. They're like, oh, this new Batman ain't it? Nah, Ben Affleck wasn't it. This new Batman out here giving people work.
He really was,
He's out here giving people work. I'm here, and they're like, oh, but I didn't like him I didn't ask for what he was. I like Bane for a reason. He out here giving these. If you giving out hands, I'm here to watch. And that's cartoon, anime, whatever you want to call it, or the plot line. Yeah. I need to see hands. You give me this long storyline?
You don't want to see character building. You don't want to see story.
I'm fast forwarding into I need to see them choppers go. I need to see the hands action. That whole background story, I missed all of it. I don't know.
Hey, so you basically just fast forward movies to fight scenes.
I'm here for John Wick.
That's an excellent movie.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here
3 excellent movies.
He give you 5 minutes of talking, and now we on to this clip action. We here for all that.
We've talked a lot about your father, and all of us have played in the league. We all have children. I have a son that plays at Arizona State. And so many times when there's a child or a son that does exactly what his father does, they always point to him. It's always, Pops did this, he's playing like his dad, or his dad did all of these things. But your mother, Anita, she had to play a role in Joffrey and your lives as well, and just making sure that everything wasn't about sports. And you continue to grow as young men with your brother, a young woman with your sister. Speak a little bit to how she had to balance all the things, the training and being hard on you and pushing you that your father did, and then now the maternal love of a mom.
Nah, see, look, that we're gonna keep this a buck. Pops was that like background driving force. Mom's was the first goalie. Mom's was the first, shot instructor. Like Pops is out there working. Like even after he retired, while he was playing, he was still in the offseason an engineer. Now it sounds great and everything like that, but that just means he's always working. So at the house, no, that was Anita Jordan's house. That was it wasn't Pop's house. Like, he comes in when he like, hey baby, I'm coming home, and he gets in. Is it cool if I? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a law order there. Mom's is like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. What you gonna do when you get into the house, give me your book reports. If you haven't written a book report, you will be writing a book report. It was always school first. Pops went to Brown. Again, sounds good on paper. You know who's driving this home. Yeah. Mom's is like, look, this is what we're gonna do. The first time I brought a C, I was like, yo, I'm varsity track, varsity football, whatever it was. I was wrestling at the time. All that got yanked. The first time I brought home a C, Anita Jordan went to Chandler High, sitting in the class. My son know the answer. No, I don't. That's why I didn't raise my hand. That's why I got a C now, mama. I'm not doing well right now. But you're going to figure it out ASAP just to get back on the football field. So, you know, like she drove home a lot of those lessons. But again, she ran track. She ran track back in the day over at South Mountain High. Like they was out there hoofing it. So she got all that athleticism and that mentality of like, if you're going to go get something, let's go get it. So we be out there and we run on asphalt. Mom's is right there. Never out of earshot, never out of eyesight. Yeah. But she right there with whatever.
So you hit the genetic jackpot then.
Absolutely.
So you're supposed to be a first-round pick.
Absolutely.
I'm a lot less impressed now.
Facts.
Like at first I was like, man, you know, like Pop.
He got it out the mud.
Yeah, he got it out the mud. He worked hard. This kid came from Chandler. Nah, his mom's ran track, was an athlete. His Pop played.
That's true, but whoever does the rankings though, he was a 3-star.
3. There was Everson Griffin was a 5-star. I think me, him, Prince Amukamara, and a center was up for Athlete of the Year, and I think Everson won it. Maybe Prince won it. But yeah, no, I'm trying to tell people, I'm like, I'm not really built like y'all. I was like born like this. Like, you know how like you can't teach size. Like you see them 7-footers in the NBA that don't be playing, but you can't teach size.
Right.
I was given 6'4", 270 pounds by the time I was a senior in high school.
That's crazy to me.
And now the only difference was I was also running an open 4 from time to time. Right. Our track coach, Eric Richardson from Chandler High, if you on the track team, you run a 4x4. And we could be at a dual meet and there's nobody left. It's Chandler High versus Chandler High. Our 4 versus 4. You're gonna run this 4x4. So you just got comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's a great thing in Arizona.
Seriously though, did you pay attention to those rankings? You was the 37th ranked DN coming out of high school. Did you use any of that for motivation or, you know, down the road when you decided to pick your colleges?
Lightweight. I mean, I would use it as a deflective. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'd be like, oh, Cam, like, you got this. Your dad was. I was like, hey, man, I'm only a 3-star. Relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, hey, you know, you should be running. Hey, relax. I'm just a 3-star. Remember? Like, I'm only a 3-star. Because we go to a college will let you know ASAP what you are. Hey, you know, you're a 3-star, so you should probably commit with us. Hey, I'm only a 3-star.
Right.
You know, you get that pressure from UCLA. Hey, if you come up to this visit, we want you to commit. You're my first visit. I can't commit. No, we need you to commit. I don't know about need. I'm just a 3-star, remember?
So you was basically using it to be an a-hole because that's not a deflector. That is sarcasm.
At its finest.
As you talk about your parents, I just thought about it. Did you become your dad? And did you try to find your mom in women?
No. I think I married my dad. That might be.
He get beaten one-on-one and everything.
You know,
he's loving basketball over there.
That's why I'm asking, because now I think about their relationship and now I think about her. You know, you have a different relationship too.
I feel like more times than not, and she, like my wife will hate it. I'm married, like I don't know what I did with my ring. I lost it. Yeah. Currently, I'll find it tomorrow, hopefully. But I literally, like, you know, so I refuse to wear rubber bands. Like when I see cats wear rubber bands, like my wife was like, why don't you put the rubber band on? I said, did I go to Walmart for your ring? Don't push your 99-cent ring on me. Like I got a really nice wedding band. Now, either way, I don't know where it's at right now. I set it down every time I go lift, and then but sometimes you just forget.
It's about the women. You can just throw anything on, man.
This ring's
12 years old. I think this ring was $100.
That's on you.
But it's representative of something. I don't got to show out.
I'm about to get this thing tatted, so like just in case. Like mine is like it's really nice. I picked it out myself. I said I like that one. If we're gonna put something on the ring, that's the one. But no, so
it's interesting though you say you married your dad though. It seems like you line up with what you've seen.
Right.
So people that are together with their spouse a long time,
right.
You go back and their parents are usually together for a long. Like you line that up, like what you've seen.
Thanks.
You didn't marry your mom.
I
You married your dad.
thought I was marrying a good Christian woman, which she is. She just has a lot of perspective, like drinking juice until like that last little corner and leaves it in the fridge.
That's not Christian.
I don't know what it is. I'm like, you heathen. Like, who does this? You know what I'm saying? Like, who leaves that corner of juice? Her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she won't. Or I'm like, hey, babe, are you hungry? You know what I'm saying? Let me get something for you. She'll be like, no. But when my food comes in, who's the first at the door knocking? You know, so that was, to me, that's dad tax. Dad's been doing that all your life. Hey, man, what you got right there? Let me go here. Hey, man, you have your plate or like whatever you have going on over there.
No, you have your plate. You got our plate.
I have his plate. Absolutely. I got her plate, but her food is her food.
You have 4 kids, and you were given a tour to Cal for the Final Four when you met. How is that relationship? Because you grew up in the house with 2 parents who were athletes. Your wife, even more so, a McDonald's All-American, played at Rutgers. She was
like the number 2 guard in the nation at the time.
Is there like a level of competitiveness there between you two?
Not so much on my side, but on her side, and I just match energy. I'm a very match energy guy.
Right.
And you know, like she'd be like, you know, whatever we do, and that's why I don't even play cards with her anymore. Like she'd be like, babe, let's play Uno. I don't like beyond me winning. It's a challenge, right? Like everything's a challenge. I'm like, babe, it's not that serious. It's just a game. Because for me, I'm still in the game. I still get to be competitive as hell when I go to work. So when I come home, I'm just like, it is what it is. And she'd be like, no, run it back. Shoot. And now we're here. But she definitely is. She's overly competitive. When I retire, I will be as competitive as her because that'll be my outlet. Right. I am her outlet. We go hoops. You know what I'm saying? Like one of our first dates, we were going hoops and I probably caught her eye because I was busting her ass. Like she plays basketball, but like I'm here for all that smoke. Right. You know what I'm saying? 24, I'm Euro stepping and dunking. Like I'm finishing. Her claim to fame is she beat me once. So that's how competitive it gets.
She called her shot too, though, right?
Absolutely. We played like 200 times, but all she gonna remember is a win. I love that about her. I don't remember her. I don't remember losses. I remember wins. She can remember her one win because I dunked on her next game. You know, like for me, you got to stay out the paint. You know, there's rules. You got to stay out the paint. You can't like bully her down. So it's all just creating your own shot. She beat me the one time. I said bet. We went to 11. I won 11-1.
Like why is it that important?
Because I match energy.
Listen, you better be glad you got married early. Because your game is taking a damn woman to play basketball?
No. That was one of the first dates. Because she was a McDonald's All-American, she was a year removed from her basketball. So, I mean, I walked up to her. If we set this up, I walked to her. It's New Orleans, whatever that is, 2013, 2014. The women's NCAA Final Four is in New Orleans. So my Cal girls are like in the Elite 8 trying to get to the Final Four. Me and my guy, a center of mine, is from Cal. So we go say what's up to the girls. I was their peer, like the seniors' peer advisor. I was a peer advisor in college. So that was my last group of girls. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take my dogs out, go to Bourbon Street. We're gonna show a good time. The coach is over there like, Cam, relax. I'm like, I was like, I have them in early, like no problems. You know, we walking down and we walk up on, it's a women's NCAA Final Four, so it's women out there. They're going in droves. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you walking past them. You know, it is what it is. I found me a good pack. So I need that. It's just me. It's like 10 or 11 of my basketball girls. It's, Nikki, my wife, and like 3 of her bodyguards. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a big one that was looking me in the eyes. Big girls love big guys, and I haven't understood that attraction, but it is what it is. Then there's like
she don't want to toss around somebody little.
She need to. Like normally see a big girl with a guy like you.
Don't do
right?
that.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like normally
they're not finna toss
when
me
they
around,
go
Cam.
it's always a huh. You know what I'm saying?
Little bitty fella.
Hey, buddy. They hit you with the, come on, baby. You're like, yeah. Okay.
See you later, fellas.
Old lady say I gotta go.
Julissa wants to leave.
Martin, when Big Shirley called, Cole had to go. You know what I'm talking about?
Cole got in.
So we down in Bourbon Street, and there she was. So I'm like, her larger friend was like, if I'm 6'4", Shorty was 6'5". If I'm 285, Shorty was. 240, 250. Look me dead in the eyes, and you know what I'm saying? She like pressed me, and I was like, ah. I was like, sweetheart, I'm not the one for you. I did a nice little Euro step beyond her. And she had another little friend, Euro step shorty, got to her and was like, so what's up? And she wasn't feeling anything I threw at her. So, you know, we go to one spot. First of all, I'm over here like, yo, I asked one of my teammates, I was like, hey, she swing for our team or like, because like she's throwing everything back, like backhand, forehand. It's all coming back.
So in your estimation, in your
mind,
mind, you can only get rejected by someone who doesn't like men.
No, not even acknowledged. It's not rejected. It's not acknowledged. I said, oh, it must not be her wave. Guys must not be her wave.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that, like, you know, she was just like one of those, like I said, wife was devout Christian, walk on a straight line, had all of like 2 boyfriends her whole life. And he kept each one of them for like years. You know what I'm saying? Like years. Right. So just never really walked into a type like her before. You know what I'm saying? Like, went through college, 1 boyfriend. Through high school, 1 boyfriend.
Right.
Shit. Did not know that at the time. So, you know, I'm over here thinking, and she doesn't drink, she don't smoke. Like, when I say ultimate athlete, shorty's like, I'm putting protein in the body, I'm putting this lesser carb in the body. Like, she's regimented, work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, I'm popping off all the wrong game to her. Look, sweetheart, let me buy you a drink.
Right.
Hey, yeah, I mean, we're gonna be out tomorrow. What's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like, yo, I'm not clicking. All right, let me take a step back.
Was this flat top Cam at the time or no?
This was probably headed into flat top.
Okay.
Like the juice was coming. I think it was probably like a little high type fro. So either way, I had to change the angle up. You know, I had a little, you know, what would Jesus do? Now this has got his love, but I had like a, you know, little what would Jesus do bracelet on. I had to shoot my angle. Hey, sweetheart, like, did you grow up in the church? Yes. Oh, we're in. You're saying there's a way. You know, so I shot my shot that way and then just worked my way in, slowly but surely. She lived out in LA. I was going to LA anyways. I just like lived there the last offseason. And then, so we went on a nice little date. The second date, she's like, I want to meet one of your friends. So I brought my best friend with me. And I was like, well, what does one do with this? Okay, we're going to go to LA Fitness. Took her out to LA Fitness and started putting up some shots. She got serious about it and we started busting her ass. It's been on a cracking since.
That's cool. Hey, for you, a kid from Chandler, Arizona, you go to Cal for school. You're drafted 24th overall by the New Orleans Saints. I'm from the NO. It's a different place, right? It's not necessarily what you've been used to. What was that adjustment like for you personality-wise?
In which aspect? Man, from Chandler, you got Gilbert, Tempe, Phoenix. You know, you can get all the way. Now there's a Glendale. I still don't know about Glendale. But there's so many different places you can drive to, like 15, 20 minutes. You can see people you've never seen before. Heck, we had some activations today that was like in North Phoenix, and even from Chandler, we don't really go to North Phoenix like that.
Right.
And you know, this is all within 30 minutes. You go to New Orleans, it's just New Orleans. It is New Orleans, and then 45, 50 minutes away, there's Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
4 hours away, there's Houston. Like, there's no like surrounding cities. Like Metairie, Kenner, they're all the same.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, there's nothing you can see, nothing new you can see. You know, like, oh, I'm just going to the zoo and it's in another city. No, it's right there. Like, everything's right there. Hey, I'm gonna go. It's right there. There's nothing huge about New Orleans. But because of that, it's also like, I already know where I'm going. I know how to move. You learn how to move.
Yeah.
In New Orleans quick.
Yeah.
Which is important because unlike here, like in Chandler, you know you're good in Chandler. You know, when we were growing up, we used to have to, you know, fight some Hispanic cats. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what the rift was. There was always a rift there. Bro, we had riot police because we was scrapping in the courtyard. Like, we've been fighting Hispanic cats and in Arizona, we just got Mexicans. I don't know, like everywhere, like you get to New Orleans and all of a sudden you get Puerto Ricans, Cubans, all these. Arizona's just us and Mexicans. Fighting, scrapping for no reason. Don't even know why I'm scrapping the courtyard. Hey, but like I said, I come from the burbs. I live a good life. Yeah. My parents did.
You say you chose the streets?
Chose the streets. But you know, that's just it. So you get to Cal, and again, Cal, you got San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond, Hayward. You know, all these surrounding cities. Fremont, like you can go wherever you want to go. I was in love with Cal the moment I walked on campus. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you get to New Orleans, you're like, all right, what else can I see? Oh, that's it, huh?
Yeah.
It's all right. Sit my ass down. But then the cuisine changes too. Right. And now you go from West Coast grilled everything to South fried twice everything.
And gravy.
And gravy. I'll say and sauce. You won't get this lagna. They're gonna give you more sauce and some more sauce. And so, rookie year, I went from like 290 to like 310.
You've become a star there, and obviously now you've been the captain for as long as you've been to Pro Bowls. And I know championships somehow have eluded you. Y'all had 2 years back to back. You go 17, 18 playoffs, Stephon Diggs play, right?
3 years, really. It was 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Each one defined by 17 was Stephon Diggs, miracle catch, and then he became a top-tier receiver.
Yep.
We're like, we know Adam Thielen. We don't know this guy.
Right.
Now we know this guy.
Right.
Stephon Diggs is that dude. Then you talk about 18
Rams.
where they smack my dog Tommy Lee right there by the end zone completely before the ball even gets there, delivers a blow to him. I said, well, that's not defense. Everybody knows that's a flag. Don't get that. Somebody smacks Drew in the face, helmet-to-helmet contact. We don't get that. I said, pick your poison. All you had to do was choose one call.
Right.
And that's on us for being in that position. Fine, I guess. NFC Championship game. The following year, we play Minnesota at our house now. Kyle Rudolph pushes off, catches a tutty. That's in the game. And all you have to do is make the call. Like full extension, everybody knows that. And you feel gypped in some way. And at the same time, you look as a defensive player, you never let anybody else decide your game.
Drew's gone. Like that window's closed, right? Y'all ain't got nobody.
Drew's window's closed? Yeah.
No, y'all's.
Well, who's y'all?
The Saints.
No.
Drew's gone, bro.
Absolutely not.
You see the 2 quarterbacks that are in this game this week, top-tier quarterbacks,
Right.
MVP candidates.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't got no MVP candidates.
Yet. There's always a future. You can't knock out tomorrow. We're just in today. Relax. Take it easy.
But those years of back-to-back, Drew Brees was the fueling
was the
force
driving
of that.
force.
Yes.
Except we also won, 19? We won, 7 games without him?
Yep.
The previous year, we won 5 games without him? Yep. We were slowly preparing for what was to happen. You can't tell me our defense isn't a championship-level defense. But now, get a little bit of help.
But you were that for years, Cam, and I played on defenses in Pittsburgh that were like that. But we were able to capitalize on those because whether it was Ben to make a play, Antonio Brown make a play, Santonio Holmes, we found ways to make those 1 or 2 plays offensively when you needed them. Now you can't account for what the officials do in those last 2 games you mentioned, but it's only so long you can have that Super Bowl caliber defense
for sure
and not cash in on it. And for a guy like you who's going to be going into
year 13.
the years of the teens. It's 13, yep. Into year 13, do you ever look back, or how do you look back on those times and feel about not capitalizing on what Channing said was that window with Drew Brees?
I mean, maybe I will when I'm in your position. Right now, you can't tell me the door ain't open. The moment we get somebody in, I'm not saying we're drafting anybody, because if I draft somebody, I assume that we have to cultivate them. You get you a seasoned guy, and this year is probably the year to do it. There's 3 or 4 quarterbacks you can be like, I can win today with right now. And I like that for me next year. Now, if we don't grab one of 3 or 4 guys, I'll be calling you like, hey, that window might be getting a little tighter. But right now, I'm fully optimistic.
Yeah.
I feel like if we make a play at Aaron Rodgers, a Derek Carr, even a Jimmy Garoppolo, let's see what happens if they, I was going to say Trey Lance, but let's just be real. Brock Purdy tore UCL. He's probably going to be out for 6 to 9 months. Trey Lance going to get a shot. We still got shots at regardless of whatever. And there's quarterbacks this year that I think we can get.
And then in 2020, you had this GOAT kind of descend from the heavens to Tampa in the NFC South.
Tampa Brady?
Right. And that even narrowed the window for you guys even more.
We waxed them the first 2 times.
No, you did. But you didn't win the South.
We
got to
did.
win the
No,
South.
we did.
They won the South.
Well, that's where it starts. This year, right?
No, they won the South.
No,
this
year Tampa came back and won it.
Yeah, the year that Tampa won the Super Bowl, they beat them twice and beat them bad one time.
Right.
Are you really
with
excited?
Different quarterbacks?
Are you really excited to see him retire?
Who? Tom?
Yeah.
Salute to him. Hey, absolutely. But I also think that had we, had some offense going at times, and I really don't care who's against us. That being said, you can't fight what Tom Brady was doing.
Right.
He came into Tampa and won the Super Bowl the first year. And then they started going like that. If they start going like this and we start going like this, all I got to do is do this.
Yeah, just a little turn.
Slippery slope.
And Sean Payton situation. He retires, but now he's the Denver Broncos head coach.
Yeah, he wanted a bigger market.
That's really what it was.
That's what I've always said.
How is Denver a bigger market than New Orleans?
Than New Orleans? Because New Orleans is like the 30, it's like ranked like the 30th well, in terms of marketability, like we're not up there. In terms of fan loyalty, we're tops. But in terms of exposure, no.
But what did he need a bigger market for? Everybody respects Sean Payton in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
So what's the big?
I don't know. Maybe he's done everything he could. He was there 2006 to whatever. Like, we can't all have the Mike Tomlinsons that's just like undyingly loyal to the Steelers fan base.
Yeah.
At some point, maybe Sean wanted more. You know what I'm saying? His kids fully grew up. One of his kids is at TCU. I thought he was going to a Texas team to be closer to his kid, honestly. I saw him in white and blue. And then Denver popped up, and I was like, okay.
Oh, so no hard feelings that he left y'all.
Left us.
He left y'all.
What
He
you
decided
want
to leave y'all under contract.
You want me to start acting like the Detroit Lions running back? They'll be like, they picked me up. The one that talks through his noses, the nasal one.
Jamal Williams?
Yeah, he went crazy this year, but like he be throwing that cringeworthy content out. I'm just
Chan, you're asking these questions, but you're still on the other side of Deion leaving. It's the same thing, right?
Deion leaving what, the HBCU?
Leaving from there
he
to
left
go
there
to
because of lack of resources and all that stuff. I'm talking about Sean Payton decided to leave the Saints.
Bigger market,
It's
under
not a bigger
contract,
market.
the whole thing, right?
What's that? Yeah, but he was
Deion
under
left for a
contract.
bigger
Did
market.
not. He did. Fred.
And you
That's why I'm
take
at.
issue with
He
that.
did not want to be with the Saints anymore, but he still wanted to coach an NFL team. I didn't know if a veteran, a team leader like himself would look at that in a funny way. I would.
I mean, luckily he's an offensive-minded coach anyways, right? So, like, I didn't have to deal with him daily. I only dealt with him on 2 occasions. We were doing really, really well. He was like, Cam, I got 50 plays. All of them are working. I'm like, yeah, Sean, rock on. Or you, Cam, what the are we doing? Step it up. Hey, relax. I got this.
Right.
And sometimes I'm like, I'm going to try and get this. Like, you didn't draft me anybody, so we got a whole lot of nobodies, but you did this. But okay, I'll make this work. But like when you think about, you've been in that position, you're like, we need more. What did you give me? What did you give me to squeeze more out of this? So you have this idea that, Sean was like, oh, he runs everything. He runs the offense, and I don't have to deal with him. I deal with my DC. My DC is like AC to me. Mm-hmm. My D coordinator is the one you really deal with on a daily if your guy's now I have a head coach that's a defensive-minded head coach, and now it feels different. Like now I'm like, I talk to him a lot. They're like, how's the DA? I talk to him like once a week, for real. Twice a week, more times than not. Yeah. And it's like, I've never felt disincluded. I say, I don't like feeling disincluded. I don't like how personal this has gotten. He was like, Cam, how's the locker room? Hey, man. All right, this is different. Yeah.
That's a question I want to ask you. Really, the locker room in New Orleans, is Sean a micromanager? Because he just came on, they asked him about Russell Wilson's team, the assistants.
I wouldn't say micromanager. I know exactly where you're going with
You know what I'm saying? So
he's just old. He's old school. He's from that, him, Belichick went under Parcells, right? They're of that system of like, hey, football's football. You know what I'm saying? Like there isn't, hey, like he could be in front of the camera, but it's not like a, hey, we can all have our individual shows. Like if I'm doing podcasts like I do now, like he'd probably be like, 10 years ago? Oh, for shame. You know what I'm saying? Like that span of, but he comes from that landscape where there wasn't social media like that, where everybody can be their own person and still play football. He was like, you play football, and if you don't play football, it's a distraction. Like that's where that Parcells level comes from. Mm-hmm. And you like it. You have to deal with it. I mean, that's like being a part of the Patriots. Like you saw more personality from Tom Brady after he went to Tampa than you ever saw all 18 years over at you know what I'm saying? And he was Tom Brady.
Well, now he's taking pictures in his drawers.
I don't want to think about that. Why you do that?
So, I mean, that's the place we've moved into.
Is that a thing? Wait, what do you mean by taking pictures in his drawers?
That's what Tom Brady did.
I saw him kiss his kid and I had enough. I was like, hey, I'm good.
It comes to an end for everybody. Like everybody has their time. And in some of the greats, like a Tom Brady, you get to choose when to walk away.
Right. How could have been last year had media stopped leaking them things.
Well, he wanted to beat Shefty, bro. Shefty beat him last year. This year he announced it on the beach.
Right after.
And you can buy the sand. You can buy the sand. For you, how do you look at, or how long do you think you'll continue to play? And what's the energy or what's the importance of leaving with a championship for you?
I've asked this question recently because, I'm year 12 and you can't play forever. And I asked wifey, I was like, hey, what do you think about 7 more years? And she's like, shit. I said, cool. She probably didn't say shit. She said shoot, but like, you know what I'm saying? I said shit. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, what do you think about 5 more years? She's like, 5 more years here? I said, oh, okay, so you're open to it? Mm-hmm. And then I asked myself, I was like, yo, do I still love this? There's not a moment I love all the practices, so I still have love for everything. The moment I feel like practice is a drag, the moment I feel like, damn, I gotta wake up and do this, that's when I'll be like, all right, we're on a very limited time basis. Right now, I'm in practice and I'm leading the charge juice-wise. Mm-hmm. Like my energy level is so high, I'll be over like, let's go get it. And if I'm not at practice, I'll be like, yo, like the boys are like, hey man, practice was different today. Mm. If I'm still that driving force, we're good. I'm still on the sidelines like playing 75, 80% of the snaps. I'm trying to get back in the game. My coach is like, no, like you've had too many snaps. I'm trying to win. And unless somebody's doing what I'm doing on the field, leave me alone. If I'm still fighting for that, then I'm playing. The moment that it changes, Fred, how many years did you play?
13.
When did it become I don't feel like it?
My last year in New England, just, canvassing the entire practice like I can do it, but I can't do it at that level. So I'm gonna give it up.
There's a performance drop-off.
Due to injuries. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, fight those challenges, fighting, grinding, then you get out there and something happens, and now you got to sit back and watch everybody else do their thing.
It became less fun.
It becomes frustrating, less fun. So I was like, I'm gonna call it a career.
So
I could have continued to play.
Yeah, it wasn't politics, it wasn't anything else. It was just like,
nah.
RC, I mean.
Yeah, but I think the difference for me was I used to do so much to get ready for games.
What do you mean?
And the way I had to do treatment, the way I ate, the way I practiced, like all of those things. And I wasn't
on that Ocho Cinco? You wasn't smacking McDonald's?
Hell no. I had that level of talent, right? And so for me, it became that the work it took me to get to Sunday no longer made that week worth it. Like what I was getting out of Sunday, whether it be emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it wasn't making that week worth it. And that's what retires people. Nobody, like you never get to Sunday and having a game and go, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. But then Monday, when you get treatment and it's still 2 a.m. and you got needles from your ear to your ankle, you're like, I don't know. Or when you're limping down the stairs to get to your barber on Saturday and you just go shoot it up on Sunday, you're like, I don't know. And so those are different things, but you don't have those things. And so my question to that is, does Cam Jordan ever become a player that goes to chase that championship, trying to find that right spot, becomes a mercenary, much like we've seen Von Miller, when you can still get money and still go deliver championships? Or is it about, I've been the Walter Payton Man of the Year here, I've been a captain here for all this time, I'm the all-time sack leader, all of these things. I want to finish my career here and bring a championship here, and if not, I'm okay with who I am from a career standpoint.
The game we play, the physicality we bring to it, and just like the movies and the anime I watch, I tell my boys, my teammates, every time we go to practice, I'm like, I don't know what y'all on today, but you know me, I bring these hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like and I play that way simply because I'm like, yo, this game, you've seen guys have non-contact injuries like OBJ at the Super Bowl the previous year, and that could be it for you. I have to be okay with saying, hey, if my shit ended today, would I be okay? Would I be upset about not having a Super Bowl? Yes, because other people quantify Super Bowl as a Hall of Fame level stat. Mm-hmm. When you could just be a part of the machine. You could be a cog in the machine and you'd be like, I got a Super Bowl. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fine. like really, what did you go off?
Right, yeah.
Stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I got 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, but who were you in those Super Bowls? Relax.
It's the most important thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gets like, oh, he's a Super Bowl champ. But were you that dude? Were you Aaron Donald, a Super Bowl champion? Mm-hmm. When he should have been MVP and they gave it to wide receiver because offense looks good? Nah, relax. So if you was that guy, hey man, I see you. But if you was just like, yeah, I got 3 Super Bowl rings and I rode the coattails of XXXX, all right, well keep on riding coattails, get out of my face. But if you were a guy who had, in 8 years, had 30 sacks and flaunts 3 or 4 Super Bowl rings, that's nothing notable. That's you were a guy and you did your job. Good for you.
Well, this is it, man. DraftKings has brought us all the way to the Super Bowl. And now in the Super Bowl, they still want new customers, and they will incentivize you. Any new customer signing up with the promo code PIVOT, you bet $5 on the big game, and you get a $200 in additional bets. DraftKings still making plays all the way to the big game.
It ain't but one game, so y'all know what I want to do. The same game parlays. I'm telling you, pick multiple bets on the same game and have a chance of winning even more on the back end. Now, I know who's going to win, and I think it's going to be an under because I don't think these teams are going to score 30, 40 points like people are predicting. So I'm going to take the under. I'm going to pick the team, and you win more money with the same game parlay.
One game, the big game, and we're here. But DraftKings isn't everywhere. But don't worry about it. DraftKings Daily Fantasy, they still got you covered. Bottom line is, download the app, put it on your mobile device, get money. Simple as that.
It seems very simple. And remember, use the promo code PIVOT for all new customers signing up. You bet $5 on the big game, and you get $200 in additional bets. That's DraftKings Sportsbook app. Pivot, $5, $200 in additional money. Can't wait to see you at the big game.
There's somebody on your mind I'm not going to ask. But
Come on.
there's somebody you brought up. It was two. 8 years, 37. It was somebody on your mind. But it's funny, you talk about the old school way of ball, how you learn, you know what I'm saying, the waters for weakness and all that stuff.
Man.
That's gone.
Gone.
The physical side
That's what I'm
of
saying.
it's
The
gone.
boys are soft now. I got guys that are born in 2000, and the boys like, you know, not saying that painting your nails is wrong, they come in different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The adjustment of an old school football guy like yourself. I'm not talking about the football side, the follow on the quarterbacks and all that stuff. That's ridiculous to me. Off the field, the exchanging jerseys.
Yeah.
The calling a guy pregame to talk with him. All that stuff that happened. I've never heard of that when I've been retired 10 years
What do you
already.
mean? Calling who? Like somebody
Calling the opponent, laughing it up, chuckling it up
before the game.
before the game.
You never called your boy before the game?
No.
I can't wait to hit some of my boys. Like when we were younger in the league and my boy Shane Vereen was over at the Patriots, you know, Marv Jones over at, at Detroit, whatever it is, I'm calling him the whole week. Hey, I'm busting your hey, just know, if I see you in these flats, I'm lighting you up. And we talking the whole time.
But talking track, these boys now are more pleasant. The jersey exchange.
I
We
like
play
the-
each other.
I like
You got into the jersey exchange?
I had to. It's like,
You don't have to. Nothing. You a grown-ass man.
Well, he's going to get into it, though, because people are going to ask for his jersey.
Then you say, leave me alone, little
but
boy.
I was weird about it when I first got it. No, I needed that Julius Peppers. I've been looking up Julius Peppers forever. I didn't step to him though until I was like 5 Pro Bowls in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there was like a level of accomplishment I had to feel like to step to Julius Peps. Like it was Pep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? UNC basketball, football.
Yeah.
Number 1 overall, like one of the greatest defensive ends to play. So like if I was gonna step, it was gonna be to a friend. It was gonna be like, yo, Marv Jones, Eric Kendricks, Mike Kendricks, whoever it was. Hey, bro, I want your jersey because I want your jersey. And it's a dope moment because you going to be my guy for as long as we've been boys. Yeah. Now, if it's like these new, some random kid that I don't know, I do it, but because I just think in my mind, I'm like, future, Scottie Pippen. Can't let that happen.
That don't have nothing to do with you, the future Scottie Pippen situation.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm like, can't go to jail. I'd have to kill somebody. It couldn't be me.
So for you, in making that adjustment, you seem to be able to keep your style of play. Like you said, put hands on folks when you go out there. You
God
got
bless
these hands.
me to bless others. You know what I'm saying?
God bless you to bless others. But you've also adjusted to the sort of new way these guys move personality-wise.
Yeah.
When you think of yourself fitting into a locker room, being a captain and all those things, what's your push now, or what drives you now to still be a part of that culture? Because the culture is what you miss when you leave, right? Being able to talk to dudes, being able to relate to guys. It got to the point to me where I truly was just the OG. You know, where like everybody was coming to me for everything. I was trying to lead. I was hosting Bible study. Like that was my life. I went to Washington. I didn't really have my homeboys there anymore. How do you still relate to that locker room, and do you feel it's still that same type of joy from when you walked into it in 2011?
Absolutely. I try to tell my young guys this year, I was like, yo, I'm giving you the keys. Like, take the keys, drive. They're like, yo, man, it's still you. Take the keys. Like, I'm the man behind the boombox in the locker room. If you need something, you come to me. And it funnels through me. And I'm like, nah, funnel through this guy. He's going to be the next guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, Cam, you still got it. God dang it. Give me the keys. I'm driving. You know, but like, it's just a part of who I am. You know, like when it comes to just being yourself, that's what it is. I'm always going to try and talk to my guys because I'm trying to bring them together because that's just the way we sort of grew up in it. If you see a guy who's like off to himself, you're supposed to talk to him. You're supposed to bring him in. The football field is the greatest aspect of team camaraderie because it's not like basketball where you can have one star, like a star and he can carry the weight. You need, even if your quarterback is that dude, he still needs somebody else to be with him. If you're like that guy on defense, you can't just be that guy on the defensive line. You have to have every Batman needs a Robin. And it's that apparent. So as long as there's a football team, we could talk about whatever. And now, like I said, now it's cartoons for you, it's anime. You know, whatever it is, there has to be like a commonality. These kids, like when I grew up, you watch anime and you shut the hell up about it. You didn't just bring it to high school with you.
Right.
Hey man, you saw the latest Yu-Gi-Oh? That boy was going crazy in Shaman King. Yu Hakusho? He was going stupid today. No, you watched your show and you shut the hell up. And you were like, yo, but that BET uncut? And then you can find your commonality. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, now these boys out here crying over their Yu-Gi-Oh cards, crying over Pokemon cards. I said, bro, we used to have binders of those.
Yeah.
You know, when boys is like, you know, whatever the steez is. Again, like, you know, they rock handbags now going to game day.
Yeah. The crossbody joint.
Hey, nah, the in hand, Celine bags.
Yeah,
then I said, oh, that's fashion now. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You just.
Hey, you know, I take my fanny pack and I sling it across the body.
To fit in.
Yeah, so,
Commonality.
We good, commonality.
So you ever take the young boys and invite them to the crib for Christmas for onesie time?
She's what?
For onesie.
That's the thing? That might be a running back thing.
No, your family, right? You
Yeah,
wear the onesies.
my family.
You
in
ever
onesies.
invite some of the young boys over?
Not at all.
No?
No. That's an intimate ha he he moment with the fam. We go to see a movie. I would never be like, hey D-line, come on through. I got 3XL and 2XL onesies for everybody. Nah. Nah. But I will be like, hey, me and the fam, we hitting this movie. I rented out the movie theater. Come through. That's a slide. And we may be in onesies, but I'm not going to force my onesies on anybody.
So is it Nikki's idea or yours?
No, that's me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I always wanted that fun picture for the fam. And like the onesies is lit.
It's the zip front?
Yeah. The big onesie. Feet might be out, but feet also might be covered. We got the hoodie, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Different patterns. I pick those out every year. This
270?
year I didn't, and it didn't happen. I'm disappointed in it. Like I said, yo, carry the torch. Torch dropped. It's back. That's on me.
Whole house burns when the torch drops.
You know what I'm saying? Whole house can burn.
We started this show speaking about your father, your mother, and the way that they parented and led. And I think this kind of comes full circle now, which life does. You as the father, you as the husband. If we could get, if the Jordans had a reality show, how would we see
We've been
Cam?
approached about that like twice, fam. That'll never happen. I have never seen a reality TV show with a couple ending well. And what we gonna do is last.
Right.
Like if we fail, it's gonna be because of us. It's not gonna be because others said like throwing their input in. If you threw the Jordan family in, you see a whole lot of squats, jumping jacks, and push-ups. Because you know, this day and age, you gotta cultivate your kids a different way, right? You can't I grew up, I got my ass whooped, and then I'd wake up. You know, you catch them licks, and then you wake up. Oh. Okay, you cry yourself to sleep. It's a different type of sleep.
Right.
Now it's frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? So now we have other ways. We'll be in a restaurant. I'll be like, hey man, you ain't listening. Dad, I'm sorry. All right, cool. That second time, hey, 25 squats. 25
in the
jump
restaurant?
jacks. I don't care where it's at. Dad, I'm embarrassed. It's on you. Wifey be like, look, stall him out. Ain't no stall out. Get that in. Yeah. Only thing I can't do is do push-ups, because then she be like, on the ground? Hey. They chose to make that mistake. Sit in it.
Right.
So I'm saying, like, in terms of how we like go about the kids, like, I think she is such a phenomenal mom that she like really doesn't need me. I'm just sort of the additive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she does such a great job. I'm like, I don't like, she's the law, but I'm the enforcer. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, they need help. Guess what we doing today, guys? Wall squats, everybody. I'm coming in, but I also gotta have the fun aspect too. She'll be like, hey, I just need a minute. Hey, we going outside. Guess what we doing today? We running fades. We running sevens. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I get to come in and have fun with them. She's the hey, we're gonna dribble with the right. We're gonna dribble with the left. They got every coaching level at whatever they're gonna do. I'm trying to create basketball players. She's like, you gotta let them be. But I only have one son, so I got one shot at this. Hey man, come be a lawyer. Come be a doctor. Dad, I want to hit somebody. We've already done that. Like we've already done that as a Jordan squad. Like let's do something else. What about these hoops though? Can I hit somebody?
I just heard you say you sent them on 9 and 7 routes. Your daddy sent you on 9 and 7 routes.
Facts.
You might be doing more of your daddy than you really want to give it credit for.
But I don't want to set up a hitting dummy for a 7-year-old and go smack him again, wrong form.
Gotta get it. Wrap and roll.
No. Maybe when he's 13. When did you start playing football?
About there, 12, 13.
Right.
Yeah.
4? And you was burnt out by 30.
It's never burnt out. I played till I was 35. My body eventually told me it was time. I loved it, and like I cultivated great atmospheres of teams my entire life because that's who I was. Like it was all I ever did, you know. And so for me, it wasn't about ever being burned out on something that God gave me as a passion. I think I want to end here. I read this whole thing too in coming into this show. Your father wrote you a letter for your 200th game.
Yeah.
And I read through it, and it was just a great insight into kind of how he saw you. And I couldn't imagine having like that. Like fathers talk, and not all fathers are very expressive about their feelings or let you know what they think is great about you. But throughout reading that, you could tell he felt like he and your mom raised a great man. When you get an opportunity to look at that and think, Lil Cam, who played three plays in his first, game as an 8th grader, was now going into his 200th game, has now become the all-time sacks leader, is going to be a Hall of Famer, and you get an opportunity to read those things about yourself. What did that make you feel?
Man, honestly, I didn't even see when it came out. He texted me like, hey man, do you see the letter? I was like, what letter? Because, it was just like, all that media during season, you can't filter through all of it, right? And so I was like, dang, let me go look. I read it and I was over there like, all right, so at least I'm not going down the wrong path. Like we're doing something positive. If anything, I was just like, hey man, but I've never had to worry about affirmations of love from my parents. My mom will go out the way and be like, hey baby, just called the call. You know what I'm saying? Like, pops before games would be like, if he can get a hold of me, because I know what he's calling for. It'll literally be like on the drive to the stadium when you're already locked in. Hey man, want to run a couple things by you. And oh, by the way, I got you prayed up. Lord, he just wants to bless you while you're headed into you. So like, you catch him like, Daddy, I can't deal with this bill that you're trying to drop on me right now that came to my house about whatever it is. But all right, cool, let's go through the prayer. So but he always, he's always ended, because I think when he was growing up, he had 2 teachers, and they just like showed you love, and they were like super old school black. You know what I'm saying? Like both of them one was an English teacher, one was a science teacher, but when they had their kids, they were like 40 something. So they've gone through a whole life of tribulations, whatever it is. So they grew up in a very like, let me show you I love you by providing for you type family. Whereas I grew up with 2 parents that were very, I'm gonna tell you I love you as well as show you I love you. And if you step out of line, I'm whooping you because I love you. So I grew up completely different. And so I read the note, and it's just another affirmation. It's another like, all right, cool. So I'm not doing them a disservice. Because the man Anita raised, the man Steve raised, they came together, and I call myself the perfect child because I'm the middle child. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not off the path. The second child is always the best. It just is what it is.
Cam, listening to a man and knowing your personality, outspoken, very rambunctious, just loud.
Highly sarcastic. Yeah.
Say loud, sarcastic, but you know what I'm saying, the life of the party. You had the perfect life, bro.
The perfect child.
But no, like, to be honest, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Pushing you, there with you, interaction with both of them.
Absolutely.
College degree.
Yeah.
Go to college, ball out, get drafted
No college
first
degree,
round.
high school, GED.
High school, always.
We left at 3.5.
You went to the Senior Bowl and ain't got a degree?
Hey, I feel
you
like
was bullshitting.
I felt like, I was targeting 4 years. I still got like 4 classes left. I chose the streets. The streets didn't choose me. I made my path.
So you chose the street. First round pick, rolling out. You say trials and tribulations. You had none. Am I wrong by that? Because it doesn't sound like it.
Boy Smooth had a DUI it was self-hindering problems.
Yeah.
Headed into my sophomore year, I got a DUI because it was just like you said, life was going too good. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you seen that Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights, dad was sitting there with the family and like, this is going too good. It ends up like, I'm gonna screw this shit up. That's what it was like. I was like, yo, like, I'm slotted to start. I've got this going for me. I've got this for me. I'm untouchable. I had a life-altering and humbling moment. I'd got in the car, took off-duty cop pulls me over. I go to jail that night, you know what I'm saying? I go to a holding cell. There's a cat in the holding cell. I'm over here like big dogging it. Now I'm like, what's up? You trying to run this fade or no? But he's drunk, probably as drunk as I am. Like, just like, hey, they put it crazy here. I'm over here bucked up. Come out that next day and like, it was literally after, headed into sophomore year, we're about to play Michigan State, beat the hell out of Kirk Cousins and whoever in their team. It was a spring game. It was that summer. There was that summer game. So the coach gives you the speech. Hey, don't do anything to hurt your team, hurt yourself, yada yada yada. And I was that guy, right? So the next day I had to come in. Meanwhile, my dad is there for the game, and I just got an apartment. So I like get out of the holding cell, jail, whatever it is. And I run to the crib. It's probably like a mile and a half out. Run to the crib. I'm getting into the house. Pops pulls up, and like I've got nothing in this apartment, right? It's me, 2 roommates because we live in Cal. Rent's astronomically high. We're trying to figure that shit out. I let him suit the whole place, right? Like, hey, dresser, TV, whatever it is. I got a bed, and he's like, you got to figure out, X, like all the amenities. I'm gonna give you what you need. I had to hit him with Dad, I became a statistic last night, and that's how I started off. He's like, what you talking about? Got a DUI, yada yada yada. So, car gets taken back, lawyer fees come in. He's like, you got to figure this shit out. You got to become a man because you're acting like a boy. Oh, by the way, you got to call your mom. No, I told you, brother, so you can tell your wife. Y'all live together. Do this for me. It was a moment where you can't take life for granted. And literally, I was like, all right, well, shit, I got to figure this out. So I had to get a job. I had to be a bouncer at night because you're a football player. You're going to school. You're doing whatever. I created stressors in my life. And I said, if I can get out of my own way, shit, where can we go? Went from there. Just don't get in your own way.
For a city that's gone through as much as New Orleans has gone through, they tend to always have someone as the face of their sport organizations that sort of take the lead to carry the city. You have so much on your plate. You're the sole face of the New Orleans Saints. I can't think of any other player.
Alvin Kamara. That's what I defined.
I mean, AK, my guy, but as in terms of the face.
Yeah.
When your time is up in New Orleans, what's your legacy? Like, what do you want to leave on that city?
1% rule. A 1% rule. I'm always trying to be better than I was yesterday by at least 1%. This idea that I'm a face of the city, I couldn't tell you if I am or not. The way I play, I couldn't tell you how hard I play. I just know that I give it my all every play. So whatever I do, I give it 100%. And whatever I gave yesterday, I try and give more today. Because I think about what I've given or what I've done, but there's always reserves. There's always something you can do more. Like, damn, I talked to 20 kids a day. Had I talked to 21, I could have helped somebody else in that aspect. I talked to, I helped 2 teammates out today. If I would have helped, my safety understand that I got B gap and he's got to just free flow into the C gap, how much better could we be as a defense? There's always something you could do more, right? So I try not to live in regret. I try to live in the aspect of I'm trying to do better than I did yesterday, and that goes to all forms of life. If you look at my legacy, just know that I've given everything I could. And if I'd never play football again today, I'm cool with it. I could sit back and say, yo, I'm gonna talk to my son, I'm gonna talk to my daughters, and be like, your daddy was cold. But also, if you eliminate some of the distractions, like my early years of going out, burning the candle on both ends, you eliminate some of those distractions of feeling like the need to fit in, whether that be chains, watches, girls, cars, houses, whatever it is. You eliminate the distractions of even family, of when you get money, because Lord knows when you get money, they think they got money. Mm-hmm. Eliminate those distractions early and you can propel yourself so much further than was. So if you say legacy, just know that whatever I've given all that I could.
Well, from the pivot, man, Steve and Anita's son is making them extremely proud, bro. You have become all the things I believe they wanted to instill in you, and also from your self-imposed adversity, you've come out on the other side of that as a father who cares, as a husband who tries to understand, and as one of the greatest players in the organization of a team in my hometown who at times we're not an organization. That's all, man. So we appreciate you sitting with us, dog. That was dope.
Yes, sir.
My
Appreciate
man,
y'all having
appreciate
me on,
you,
man.
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting on my call, bro.
Hey, that boy said, I became a statistic.
I like, how do you tell your daddy you got a DUI, fam? Like, I gotta look this man in the eye like, hey, I got drunk last night. No! I was like,
He's like, Pop, they got me.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, hey, straight up, I became a statistic last night. Like, you gotta understand, Pops is an engineer. He's a numbers guy.
Right. Yeah.
So he was like, I can't be like, hey, daddy, they got me. That man got no sympathy for me.
None.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, I'm pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless. Take a stomach, I'm pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm